Welcome to Charissa Marie's Maternal Musings. I'm your host, Charissa Marie. Join me for heartfelt conversations with mothers, aunts, and fellow moms who also happen to be entrepreneurs, teachers, doctors, therapists, and more. We'll share profound life advice and wisdom, exploring personal experiences, life lessons, and professional expertise to enlighten, encourage, and empower. Tune in for inspiration and subscribe to join our journey of growth and empowerment. Hi, it's Charissa Marie, and welcome to Charissa Marie's Maternal Musings. Well, I struggled a little bit with how I wanted to approach some topics today. And then I said, you know what? Sometimes I have to go back and review what gave me strength. And maybe if I pass this information on, someone else can get some strength. And right now, I need it myself. Um, but this might be uplifting. This is something that if you are an entrepreneur, if you are a business owner, or if you are someone, even not a business owner, you're someone that while you're a professional being, these things that we're going to talk about could apply to you. And so I went to my website, Charissa Marie Collective, by the way, feel free to look it up. And I found this blog that I wrote a while back. And the name of the blog was You Are Worthy, but I was talking about business and being an entrepreneur. And I start off by explaining that you would never let anyone disrespect you, right? Not you as a person. Hopefully you won't. And your business is an extension of you. So you should likewise command respect. And one of the biggest responsibilities as a business owner is to understand that people respect what they value. You will often, forever, most likely, have to teach people how to respect your business, just like you have to teach people how to respect you in order to attract the right people, in order to move how you want to move, in order to ignore the riffraff that you don't need in your world or life or business or professional situations. You will have to teach people how you are to be respected. Now, I will say it should be obvious, but the longer I live, the more I am aware how common decency and respect for each other as humans is not common necessarily anymore. And I hate to sound like a Debbie Downer, but just the more I live, I realize that the golden rules don't apply anymore all the time. I don't know if it's not being taught by the mamas and the daddies. I don't know if it's because Big Ma and them are gone. I don't know. I realize as I live and continue to move in this world that the golden rules is not something that I assume people know about. And since I have to assume that people don't know about it, respectfully, I will respectfully explain how that is to be applied to me and how I can apply this to you. You treat people the way you want to be treated. That's one of the golden rules, okay? So you are definitely worthy. And this means that you are valuable and you have the ability and the qualities that is meant to move how you need to move, to excel in those things you choose to do. whether that is business, whether that is relationships, whether it's just your everyday days at work. It's important you realize and reinforce this self knowledge in your business affairs because people are also watching how you treat your business, how you treat yourself. Are you treating yourself and your business with care, or are you neglectful? Are you careless? They're watching how you treat yourself, how you treat your business. And if you are not careful and thoughtful to the eyes of those observing you, then how do you expect to demand to be respected or treated in a way that you believe you should be treated, right? Because you are teaching them through your actions. Establish your worth. Do not let anyone devalue your business. Entrepreneurs, those in business, those who want to be in business, those who work for someone else. You do not let anyone devalue your business. You must lay out some ground rules, particularly for your family and friends. For example, consider how people who are looking to participate in conferences, seminars, workshops, whether it be held at a physical location or virtual spaces, they pay to participate because they are aware of the value of these forums that you bring or these events. In other words, your business is not the place for freebies or hookups. As one popular phrase puts it, I'm not sure who it came from, but you do have to pay to play. Money is an exchange for privilege to engage in the activities and services that your business provides, which are valuable and of which you are worthy of because you worked hard to get us to that point. Now, if you want someone else to believe it's worthy, that's a whole nother show. That's a whole nother show on branding, on marketing, on putting your product out there. But I want to stick to the task of establishing your worth and understanding your worth. A few things can happen here. Some of our family members and friends will ask, why are you charging them? While it's unfortunate that the very idea that blood or friendship should override your path to growth and success, this can be a teachable moment. One basic analogy you could refer to is that a movie theater would not let them in to see a movie for free. And I have so many analogies, but that's just an example, right? Um, a concert. If you are a Beyonce lover like me, uh, and she has a concert that you want to see, you may complain about the ticket prices, but if you want to go see her, you will pay to play. You will pay that ticket in order to be involved in this wonderful event, entertainment that you will be a part of and behold in person. It's an experience. So you pay to play. All right. So another is that one is expected to pay for a meal when they dine out. For sure. When you go to eat at your favorite restaurant, you don't not expect to get the bill. You get the bill and you pay the bill. So now there are rare situations or exceptions, but they're few and far between. The things you want to do, the things you find value in, usually come with some sort of cost. Okay. So you're not obligated to explain the obvious to anyone when it comes to your business. You could simply say nothing. Since you are likely to get pushback, with some people, like from some family or friends, expecting for a freebie. You have to grow some kind of thick skin um, and take none of that stuff personal. Gently remind them or make them aware of the value you bring. Perhaps you will sponsor one person to attend your business event from time to time. Um, However, please understand that anyone who cannot see your value is not the right customer for you. Move on to the next one. Don't waste your time. Then move on to the next one. Remember, you are worthy. To begin with, how you know your own worth, okay? Just know your own worth. Ensure that others respect your worth as well. As your business develops, you will find appropriate business associates and consumers and customers who want to obtain what you have to offer. And if you allow others to diminish your worth, or if you go about doubting your worth, your leadership will not be trusted. Your product brand will not be trusted. Therefore, commit yourself to improving every day to ensure that you have a quality product, a quality message, something good to offer, and nourish your talents every day. Because in order to have a good product, to have that knowledge, you have to keep watering it so for it to grow, right? And participate in your business every day. Do something that involves your business every day. I believe that you got this. I am positive that you do. All right, so let's go over a few things really quickly. Um, of course, advocacy at work is important. You just want to be sure to speak up when it comes to your pay. Um, don't be afraid to inquire about promotions. Be clear in setting boundaries. And you must sometimes have to address workplace imbalance or discomfort in order to communicate and move forward effectively. It's awkward, but sometimes necessary. Let's talk about some strategies. Prepare your case, know your value, gather evidence, gather data, especially when it comes to talks about promotions or pay. Know your value and do a little research. And it's impressive when I think when an employee is so committed to showing their employer that, hey, I know my value. This is what I found out, what people in my industry make, and this is what I bring to the table. Do that and use clear communication. Passive talk only gives chaos. So use clear communication, be assertive, not aggressive. I'm going to say something that this may not go over well with everybody. As a Black woman in the world, sometimes this is tricky. It doesn't matter if we are the most passive in voice, sometimes we're just seen as aggressive. And that's where documentation is your friend. Document things via email, letter, so that you can monitor how you're expressing yourself and you have written documentation. Know your rights. Get familiar with yourself and your company's policies and the labor laws. And yeah, so I think you can do that. reflect on your professional goals and identify one thing. I dare you, identify one thing that you can advocate for this week when it comes to either your daily work situation or your entrepreneurial adventure. Just identify one thing you can advocate for yourself. And that could be so one of my things that I'm working on is how to better connect myself to my new community. What can I do to better connect myself, advocate for myself in my new community? And that's to show up, to be present at things, to be there and tell the people who I am. And so that's one of my personal goals that I'm doing this week. So I encourage you to find something for yourself. Advocating in relationships. Advocating in relationships is important. Healthy relationships require boundaries, mutual respect, and clear communication. You're going to hear me talk about communication and how clear it has to be forever. Because I see usually the breakdown in most things is because there was not a really clear act of communication between two parties, right? Here are some signs you need to advocate for yourself. If you are feeling unheard, feeling unsupported, or consistently compromising your values, you need to advocate for yourself. How to advocate effectively? You do this by communicating your needs and feelings without blame. That's a challenge. I will admit, sometimes something has bothered me so much that it's hard to keep that out of my voice or my tone. And so sometimes I have to write it down, read it out loud to myself, practice how it sounds. But if I'm caught off guard and you want to know what it is, I'm going to tell you what it is, and there will be no filter. Try to avoid doing that. Set boundaries and enforce them firmly is another way to advocate for yourself effectively. And walk away from any toxic dynamics when necessary. Just get up and walk away from any toxic dynamics when necessary. It seems so easy to say to do that, but I know how difficult this is sometimes because you're familiar with the situation, you kind of know how to deal with them, even if it's toxic. So it's sometimes easier to just go along to get along. Don't do that to yourself. Again, you're teaching them it's okay to do that to you or behave a certain way around you. If the dynamic is toxic, get away from it because it eventually you're going to feel it in here, in your heart, in your mind, your soul. It's not going to feel good. You're going to make yourself sick. So just walk away from those type of situations. All right. So I've had plenty. I've had situations. Oh, I'm afraid to say. I'm going to share a story. Okay, I'm afraid to share this story. Here's the thing about my position that I'm in right now. Right, I'm in a situation where I want to share the story, but I can't share the story because it's not just my story. But I'm going to try my best. So I had a friend. Um, And we met, I was young, she was young, and we had a lot of things in common. And we immediately um, began hanging out. Okay. Um, we worked together. This is so funny. So it's funny because now that I'm 52, I'm looking back at that experience like that should have been a learning lesson for me where I am now. We won't talk about that. So we anyway, we got along famously. It was great. But she had the type of personality that was hot and cold. And sometimes I didn't really know where this person was going to land. I'm being very vague because I'm trying to protect the parties here. So she would one day be, wonderful, lovely, high spirited, and we could talk about things and, go do activities, get have fun together. But then the next week, there would be something that I said that triggered her that would cause her to go back and talk about something that happened forever ago. And this went on across our almost 20-year friendship, kind of ups and downs, peaks and all the time. For me, and this is why I really sometimes feel okay solo, you know what I mean? But for me, it was becoming a little too much for me. So, it's just I never know if this is the moment she's going to be so hurt by how I made her feel, which she didn't communicate any of that to me maybe 10 years ago or whatever, and how that would appear now 20 years later, right? And I am not good with that. So I easily backed off of that, and we moved in our own, our own separate ways. Fast forward years later, I see her again via, social media. We connect again. We exchange numbers again, okay, because it had been all different, right? And it was the same thing. And then I had to look at myself like, self, like, are you trying to just, are you self-sabotaging because you really already know the outcome? And the last time it happened, I was better at not going back. I said that's just ridiculous. Okay, you can love someone from a distance, and even if you don't, just be distant because it's not health. I still, I had a family, I had a husband, I had all these things, and I have to deal with those things because they're my, I love them, they're my family, but I don't need someone else's baggages or insecurities. And call it what you want. Of course, we have friends. We love our friends. We're going to give them support, but that should be two-sided. It shouldn't be where one person begins to feel like they have to walk on eggshells. And if it is, perhaps it's a toxic situation and you need to walk away from the situation. Okay. So here's another example. And this one was me advocating for myself in what may seem petty, but not, right? Um, so this person continued to mispronounce my name, which that doesn't bother me if I know you're trying to pronounce it, right? What bothers me is now we've gone, we're working together in a relationship. I'm writing things for, I'm doing things, we're doing business together. And I've already explained how to say my name, but the person says, oh, Carissa, Charissa, whatever. Okay. No, it's not whatever. I am a valuable person just like you are. And my name is not whatever. It is Carissa. All right. So by her saying whatever, she's being dismissive of how to address me. And if I had just let it go, then the person would just see me as, oh, she's going to let it go. It's no big deal, and treat me whatever way they wanted to treat me. So I had to say, I'm sorry. No, for whatever reason, my dad named me Charissa, Charissa, and it's pronounced Charissa, like character, like Christmas. You can say Christopher, right? So the person became a little offended. Now, I didn't say it like that, but I said, no, it's not Clarissa or whatever. And they were offended. Like I had been saying their name wrong. Okay. I'm like, wow. Well, what it did was show me how they feel they can talk to me and then let me know, or it allowed me to decide, is this worth continuing on with the, because I'm really quick for walking away from those things. You know what I mean? I would just be like, well, okay, I feel we're not hearing each other. Um, I've enjoyed the time we've had together, and I wish you well. Happy journey. And that's it for me. So those are just some examples of being an advocate for yourself, and most definitely medical, especially with women. You have to speak up and say, no, I am telling you that this is bothering me. And who else do I need to talk to since you're not hearing me medically that can understand my Black woman body? Just saying. Anyway, I digress. Now, the broader topic is advocating in the world, everyday advocacy, navigating, as I kind of touched on, healthcare, legal issues, or community systems, or community and systems. Examples like advocating for better service, accessibility, or standing up against justice. We need people in the world to do that. This may be your cup of tea. It may not be your cup of tea, but at least advocate for yourself when it comes to your health. Practical tools. Let's talk about that. Document everything. Keep a paper trail. Keep a paper trail. I got to get rid of some of my emails and I put them in folders. But especially professional emails, will keep an email for years. And I'm probably now showing my age because, I feel like I can go back. They said, they said this, or we're doing this. And now they're trying to say it's something else. No, 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 no. I have an email that says otherwise. So I keep a documentation, keep a trail. And another practical tool is just learn to say no confidently. If something doesn't feel right, if you don't want to do something, you can say no. Give yourself the freedom to say no. Just practice self advocacy in small situations to build your confidence. It could be little things, right? Like, a group of friends, they want to go do something that makes you uncomfortable. And maybe before you would have done it, for the experience. But let's say it's something that you truly, and that's nothing, do that. That's an experience. But if it's something that clashes with your makeup as a person, then maybe just say no. Just be your advocate for yourself. All right. So I just want to encourage you to identify the areas in your community where you can be your own advocate, or whether you're a parent at school for other children. I know, so I have a son who is on the autism spectrum, and not last year, the year before we moved to Georgia, we lived in Virginia, and I had to advocate, 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 educate the educators who were missing or not grasping that he just learned differently. You have to do that for yourself, for your family. So, what does it mean to stand on business? Taking full ownership of your needs, your goals, and decisions. You have to take full ownership of it. Own it, honey. Knowing when to push forward and when to let something go. What is it? Know when to hold them, know when to fold them. Same thing, same concept. Okay, here's some cool, inspiring quotes or affirmations. Okay, here's one. Advocacy is not selfish, it's necessary. Advocacy is not selfish, honey, it is necessary. And you are your greatest asset. Invest in yourself unapologetically. Okay. And tools for strengthening advocacy: journal, write down what you stand on and rehearse advocating for it. Mentorship, find someone who models self advocacy well and see how they do it and see how they get along. And also watch how peaceful they may be because of it. You know what's so funny is I may not do journaling consistently in ways that we would think. You get your journal, you walk in it, but I do it with post-it notes all the time to myself. And it's not just for goals for me. Sometimes it's like, I will not allow Benjamin to talk disrespectfully to me today, or whatever it is, or I will not, whatever it is, or I will. Sometimes it's a goal, sometimes it will. I will say what I need to this person today. It's sometimes to give myself a little push or encouragement. All right, so here is my final challenge for you. When it comes to standing on business, ask or think about one actionable step toward advocating for yourself this week. Well, I asked you to do that. Just remember, try to do that. And you know what would be fun if you were to share that with me? I want to know what things do you have a hard time advocating for yourself for? What are those things that you find it difficult to stand up for when it comes to you? I really want you to send me messages so we can talk. That's a further conversation. What are those things? Why is it hard? I really want to know. So remember, no one will advocate for you better than you. Stand firm, stand tall, and always, always, always stand on business. So if you want to talk more about this topic, which I love, because when I was in my 20s and younger, I didn't do it. And I learned a lot of hard lessons like all of us do. But now that I know better, I do better, like all of us should. Once we know better, we do better. All right. So if you enjoyed any part of this, if this made any kind of sense to you, please, please, please help me grow this podcast and like and share and subscribe if you see this on YouTube. If you're listening on a podcast and don't see me, why don't you please download it and share it? I'm sure someone can use a little push in being their own self advocate. So I love you all for joining me, and I'm just glad that you're with me on this journey together. I feel like I'm not here by myself. I feel like we are on this journey together, and I really appreciate you for taking the time to listen from the bottom of my heart. So thank you all. And be free, live your life to the fullest of extents, and because you just get one life. All right. So I love you. Until next time, advocate, advocate, advocate. Bye.
Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, and find me on Instagram at iamcharissamarie. Also on YouTube at Charissa Marie Wants You to Be Free. Please hit that notification bell, like, comment, and share. Thank you for your support, and let's make 2024 amazing. Thank you so much for coming. We will see you the next time. Bye.